All right. Likutei Halachos. So we said that we're with this Likutei Halachos. We're in the middle of Sif Lamed Ches. We're just So what we said that the Malchus is the lowest madrega of the upper world that is above the Atik of the lower world. And the Atik represents the longing and the craving to Hashem, to the pleasure of Hashem.
What's Atik?
Atik means two things. First of all, it means removed, and also means ancient. That aspect of Kesser is Iratika is from the ancient aspect of it. But basically what it means, it removes from that time. It's removed from the time. It's Atik, shown, whenever they talk about Atik, the Atik Yoim, and all this is you're talking about either ancient of days or removed of days. I was removed from the understanding of time and place. אבל יש מבחינת דבקות שהוא למטה, מבחינת אמונה שהמדרגה הגבוהה יותר. He says, but the very same way that there is this dveikus, which is the Atik, he says there is a dveikus that is lower from the b'chinas emuna of the higher madrega. Ki Atik de Asiya, because Atik is the Olam Asiya, which is the lowest of the worlds. Ulamata mimachus de Yitzira. It's lower than the Malchus of Yitzira, which is the world above it. Shu b'chinas emuna. It's lower than the b'chinas emuna and Malchus of the world which is right above it. Mikol sheken mimalchus emuna sheba'ol meshalim yisa. I mean, how much more so? The Atik of Olam Asiyah represents the longing of Olam Asiyah, the craving of, that you have for Chasas Hashem, to be part of Hashem, and to come and to cleave unto Hashem. But it's lower than the Emunah of the world above it, and how much more so that it is lowered the Malchus, which is P'chinas Emunah of all the supernal words above it. And definitely, from one world to the next. That's the reason why the very beginning of everything is Emunah. It all starts with Emunah. V'asof Emunah v'dveikus. And the end, the beginning is Emunah, and the end is craving and Emunah all over again. It starts with the Malchus, and you're going up, 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 and it ends up with Atik, with craving, with longing, which is also beyond Kelim, is also beyond Das. It's P'chinas Emunah. Because in truth everything is all one.
So we say Emunah is above Kelim?
Mm-hmm.
We say it's above Kelim.
Well, Emunah itself is a Keli. Emunah is a Keli. To that which is below it, it is a light. To that which is above it, it is a Keli. That's the rule always. Any Bechina is Keli for the Madrega above it, and an or, a light, the Madrega below it.
So if you get more Emunah, does that mean that your Keli has expanded, or does it mean that your Keli has filled up more?
The thing is, you always have to, when the Emunah is proper, you have completed the entire 10 spheres, and you go up a higher Madrega. I don't know if that answers your question. Maybe I didn't understand it. So explain it to me.
Yeah.
Slowly.
Yeah.
You know, in English, the dull-witted, you know, every nation has its own dull-witted. In English, it's the Irish, right? So they says, you know, I have a Irish joke for you. I have an Irish joke for you. I just remember I'm Irish. I said, okay. That's because I tell it slowly.
I've got a lot of Irish jokes.
I'm sure you do.
Do you want to hear one?
Go ahead, really.
Yeah?
Blarney. All right, let's go. So, וכן אוהלם הקיקה, התחולה אמונה והסוף, כנראה הכל אחד. כי הבחינס הדבקוס של כל אוהלם המדרגו, because that level of dvekus, of connection and yearning of every oil of any madrega, שהוא נחשף ומשתוקק ומתגעגע לעלות למעלה, that the person is longing to get up and to get closer to Hashem. or B'chinas Atik, this constitutes the level of Atik. B'chinas Rava Deravin, in other words, you reach the point where the madrega that you have, you contain it with such shleimus, with such perfection, that you're zeicher to you merit to get to a level of longing to Hashem that quote unquote you don't even know what you want anymore because it's beyond the kelim. It's beyond that realm. It's B'chinas Keser. It's Atik. It's beyond your B'china. This is the will of wills according to the madrega where you are. זהו בעצמו מבחינת אלס האמונה שהוא המדרגה האחרונה של You're just ready to step in to the emuna of the world above you where you are, the madrega that you are. The process is always the ascension of the oilamas is always when you finish the oilam atachton and you go up to the madrega sa'olam elyon. You start with emuna, you fill it up with all the content of the world, you know, where you are. And when you're done with this particular oilam, you go up above to the universe above it. You start with the Malchus again, you start with the Muna again. And it's a never-ending process, a spiral that goes up and up and up and up all the time.
Even for a tzaddik?
Yeah, rather.
He can still go higher and higher.
Yes. Because Rava de Rava, בעצמו מבחינת הערס האמונה, and this in itself is the shining of the emuna, which is the world above it, the beginning of the world above it. כמלכוס של בחינת אמונה של עולם העליון, because the malchus, which is the emuna of the world above, הוא שורש החיוס של בחינת עתיק, is the source of life force of the עתיק, שהוא בחינת רבה דרבין שעולם הרגע התחתון ממנו וכן לעולם. The malchus, the emuna of the upper world, is the source of life force, a vitality, to the attic below it, to the world below it. It says because it says, and you should understand what we're saying, because if you follow these words and like this, I'm going with the way that we explain it. תוכל לעשות לך דרך להבין מעט מזער בדרכי הקבלה של הזוהר הקודש ולאריזל. Because if you understand what we're saying now, you'll be able to understand a little bit of the ways of Kabbalah of the Zohar Kodesh and Arizal, and to get out of them ways and advice l'maisa. The main thing is to understand how the principle works, and understanding that in Kabbalah and Kisva Arizal you have the formula, but you have to understand how it is applicable to your life. Because if you learn how he's saying what he's saying over here, you'll be able to understand and learn from other things in Kabbalah how to apply them to your life. That system of translating the Torah of Arizal into applicable derech, this is what Rabbeinu brought to the world. It started with Baal Shem Tov. The Baal Shem Tov brought it to the special ones. So then you have, the beginning of the world of Chassidus, Yet Tzaddik, and getting to madregas that people didn't reach since the days of the Nevi'im. Because while Arizal revealed the formulas, you know, the Baal Shem Tov brought the application, but only to the level of the Bnei Aliyah, you know, the tzaddikim.
What did he bring to Baal Shem Tov?
Mm-hmm.
What did he bring?
He took the brought Hasidus. He took the Hasidus is the
Right.
he took the limudim of Arizal and brought them down to avodah, to actual work, to actually, you know, for people to serve Hashem with them. It's no longer just, you know, theoretical formulas. It becomes avodah Hashem mamash.
So he's responsible ultimately for Breslau.
Avada, but at the level that Hashem revealed it, it's only for the Bnei Aliyah, you know, the special tzaddikim, you know, and all the rest of the people, they don't have negia to that, and therefore by the tzaddikim it also did not last. You know, they say the tikkun of Baal Shem Tov was only for 3 generations. You know, this Inaf Rebbe with Hasidim and everything. You know, from there on it just became dynasties, but it's no longer, you know, the kind of tzaddikim used to be the time of the Baal Shem Tov and the Magid and his Talmid and what this. You have that was the end of that particular tikkun. Not only this, already by the time of the Talmid Baal Shem, they were already liars. They were already fakers. That they told us Yaakov Yosef from Polno was the Talmud, one of the Talmidim of the Baal Shem Tov, and the first Sefer Hasidus is the Toldus Yaakov Yosef. It's he says over there, he says that there are people who wear Talesim on Shabbos by night, which refers to, you know, to tzaddikim, to rebbes, that are the soul, the sitra achra in the world, he says. In other words, they're fakers and liars.
Well, it means more than that. It means these guys are the devil.
Yeah. Well, because you believe in them so much, so you may, you know,
So it's interesting. You're saying after 3 generations,
the tikkun of the Baal Shem Tov was gone.
Is that why there's no more Rebbe after the Rebbe?
So when Rabbeinu came, Rabbeinu brought it down to, Rabbeinu says, you know, to every tzaddikim, you know, the previous tzaddikim, when they passed away, their tikkun passed away with them. And he says, but I want to do something that when I plant it in this world, it'll never leave. So what we have is Kabbalah Baal Shem Tov. The Breslau that you know today is totally Baal Shem Tov. What we're doing today, this is what the Talmid Baal Shem Tov used to do. That's how they went. They went to the feld, they made these beds, they woke up chatzos, they davened the sea. That's the way they did it. This is it.
Why has it been lost then?
Mm-hmm.
Why has it been lost?
Because the Hashpah of the Baal Shem Tov has been lost. It's not just that you know that that's the way it's done. You have the Ruach Chaya Ba'al Panim. You need to have the spirit of life, you know, working this. You need this. You need this working in. You need this in the Koyach HaTzadik in there. Breslau without Rabbeinu is nothing. It's nice theories, but it's nothing. The fact that you see people serving HaKadosh Baruch Hu is because the tzaddik is in them. You know, the specialist, Rabbeinu says, the specialist of Moshe is in every single limb of a Jew. The Ruach HaChaya, the living spirit of the tzaddik is the same thing with the Zohar. The Zohar would be nothing without the Shem Bar Yochai. Kisva Arizal is nothing without Arizal. You see, you have, you know, Madonna's learning Kabbalah, so what? It's nothing. It's shtiyot. You have to have the tzaddik in it. So Rabbeinu says, you know, when the tzaddik is mistalik, his tikkun is mistalik, the Baal Shem Tov is mistalik, that tikkun in the Hasidus, you know, is mistalik. Rabbeinu says, but I came, I want to do something that will, you know, my fire will keep on burning until Mashiach will come. So you and I can serve HaKadosh Baruch Hu with the koach of the Rebbe. Mashiach will come. That's the reason why it works. That's the reason why it's alive. It's vibrant. It's buzzing. Otherwise, it'll just be an interesting theory in the book. So he says that this Yom say Eitzel Ma'aseh Pi Akdomes Noiros VeEitzes Amitios Shedivet Teiroso Shel Rabbeinu. Shekol Torah v'Torah, that every single Torah of Rabbeinu, בכל מייסר ומייסר, and every single מייסר in סיפור מייסיס, היא פותחת שערים רבים של הסוגס אלוקוס, it opens up many gates of attainment of godliness. שעל ידי זה יכולים להבין גם כל דרכי הקבלה. You can understand all the ways of Kabbalah also. אם תזכה לשקול ותירוסו הקדוש יום יום השקידו רבה, if you will keep on learning and toiling all the Rebbe's Heilige Torah every single day with Ibege Yemkeit, with Nimtzo Sheikar Moichin Vachil Sherat Film, so you see that the main Moichin, the main mind and in intelligence, the data, the life force of the Tefillin, Pchinos Eres HaEmunah, that's the enlightenment of the Emunah, Shenishlemes V'Gdel B'Yoyser Kanal, that perfects itself and grows. Okay, that Tefillin Pchinos Sarah, that's the reason why the Tefillin is the aspect of Sarah, Chaya Sarah, Chaya Malchus, the life of Sarah. We said Sarah is the Malchus, so the Ele Chaya Sarah is the life of the Malchus, the Chiyos of the Malchus, the Emunah. She Pchinos Sarah, she Sarah Kol Olam, the Sarah that rules the world, it's Malchus. That is Galus Umunosoi Umalchus L'Chol Ba'olam, the revelation of the Emunah and the authority of HaKadosh Baruch Hu over all the people in the world, all the creatures in the world. Because Vayashem L'Melech Al Kol Haaretz, that Hashem will be the Melech over the entire land. See Lamentes.
To fit in a Sarah.
No. Tefillin is the process of revelation of the Malchus.
It's a channel.
It brings about, it's the conduit from the highest of the high, to be inscribed on the lowest of the low and to reveal it to everybody. When it's revealed, there's yira on everybody. Everybody sees the king, everybody sees the armies of the king, whatever. Everybody feels fear, feels awe from the melech. So, and the people of the land will see the name of Hashem is called upon you, and they shall fear you. What does it mean? It's not that you're going around saying, boo, to all the people of the land. That's not what it's about. It's not about you scaring everybody off. The point is that when they see you, they see the revelation of the Malchus. As we said that Friedrich the Great, was the king of Prussia, Germany. And he's considered to be an enlightened king. It didn't bother him to fight everybody and to kill. That's okay. That's fine. That's enlightened enough. But Napoleon also, preached enlightenment and washed Europe in blood. But so Friedrich the Great, he was a friend with Voltaire, that's the French philosopher. So he had an argument. That's enlightenment against religion, So he had an argument with his priests, the chief bishop, whatever it is that they have in Germany, about the existence of God. So Frederick the Great told the priest, give me a proof to the existence of God. So the priest thought, he said, the Jews. There's no way to explain the Jews. It just doesn't make any sense. You have a nation that is what they call the eternal Jew, right? The Goyim said the eternal Jew, and it is totally impossible to understand how this is done, because they are the lowest. They had like a short period, a few hundreds of years, when they were riding high, David HaMelech, Shlomo HaMelech, and whatever it is. And since then, basically with a little blip of the Chashmonaim, whatever it is, with Herod and they have been on the bottom rung of the totem pole, with everybody lusting after their blood for thousands of years, and they're still here. There's no way to explain, a little, Yemenite kid in Yerushalayim and eating falafel in Rehov Yafo. There's no way to explain that. There has never been a case that a nation was exiled from its land and it came back, let alone after 2,000 years. Never, ever. It's never happened. There's no precedence, Bechlal. Doesn't make any sense. Historically, none. The hatred that people have towards the Jews is also the same thing. What did they hate them for? Hitler said he hates the Jews because they saddled, the Goyish Welt with a conscience. His whole thing was, being the strongest, the philosophy of the rightness of the mightiest, and these people, as far as it's concerned, came and contaminated this purest way of looking at things with a conscience. Hey, you're doing right, doing wrong. That's the reason for the sinner that the Goyim have for Yidden. Because the Jew is the proof for the existence of Hashem. So when you're putting on film, that the Ian of film is the Ian of getting a lakus from a madrega that is totally concealed and revealing. That's what Jews are. They're a revelation of the Machas of Hashem. That's why people hate them. I got my mind up, they're confusing with the facts, that famous saying, it's like וזה בחינת מעש המכפלה, שימו לב את זה. What?
I think that's why they hate them.
Yes, it is.
They hate them because they bring morality into the world and they're not moral.
Even when they were moral, they hated them. It's
fine.
either this or that.
Fine, but like you said, then they have fear of us.
Okay. That's the reason why they go after us. וזה בחינת מעש המכפלה שכפולה בזוגס. This is the מעש המכפלה that is doubled in couples. Adam וחווה, Avram ושרה, Yaakov and Leo וכו'. שעל שם זה נקראת העיר קיריאס ארבע. This is why the town is called Kiryas Arba, the town of four. על שם ארבע זוגס. Sorry about that. For the four couples that are in there. Adam and Chava, Avram and Sarah, Yitzchak and Rivka, and Yaakov and Leah. So you have four couples that are buried in Maras HaMachpelah.
And a head.
What?
And a head.
Yes. Arba Zugas and Pchinas Fil Shel Rosh. Arba Zugas, these are the four Zugas. These are Bechot Fil Shel Rosh and Fil Shel Yad. Four couples. This is Fil Shel Rosh, Fil Shel Yad. Each one comprised of four parshas. Arba Parsha Shel Rosh, the four parshas of the head, and Pchinas Arba Moichin de Bechora. This is the four male intellects. Arba Parsha Shel Yad, and the four parshas of Shel Yad, and Pchinas Arba Moichin de Nukva. These are the four Moichin intellects, the female aspect, the receiving end. Zeh Pchinas Arba Zugas, you have four couples. Kiryas Arba, because that Kiryas Arba, and Pchinas Arba Shemesh Shel Tefillin Kaido. This is the four names of the Tefillin Kaido, which I don't know what they are, so don't ask me. That's why it's called the cave of the double. Hashem Chayim Baruchim Tzadikim. This denotes of this comes to allude to the long life of the tzaddikim. Shekdushasam v'chiyusam kfulatam. The kedusha and the life force is double at all times.
What's it called? What is it called? Machpelah?
Maras Machpelah.
That's why it's
The
called
doubling, because it doubled. Kaful is double. Kaful is double. כי בכל פעם מוספים קדושה על קדושה, תשובה על תשובה. They keep on adding קדושה upon קדושה and תשובה upon תשובה. שזה עיקר קיום התורה. That's the main קיום התורה. מבחינת ככפליים ותושיות. Because it's a double wisening. מבחינת ככל ביסו לבוש שונים. Her entire house is dressed in shonim. It's a atikra shonim, which is, crimson, and a shnaim, which is double. Patoch tiftach, anek ta'anik, naton titen, and all the psukim that talk about giving, talk about bestowing, it's doubled. Patoch tiftach, it's an opening, anek ta'anik, you should give a giving, naton titen, should give a giving, כמו שאמרו חז"ל, chas mishne term, a double term. Plus lachem be'artzom mishnei roshon. That's why in their land they will inherit double. שכל זה מבחינת חיים ארוכים. All this constitutes long life. חיים נצחים, eternal life. שזויכם הצדיקים, this is what צדיקים, הזויכה, הדש מוסיפים וכופלים קדושוסם בכל יום ובכל עת כנ"ל. הצדיקים הזויכה, that they add and double their קדושה every single day and every single time. I would like this today's share to be the Aliyah's Nishmas of my friend Daniel Weinberger. I haven't seen and spoken to him in years, and I called him up. I found his phone number, and I called him up yesterday. And his wife told me that he passed away, quite some time ago. I didn't know about that. And the kindness that this particular person showed me is beyond fathoming. I remember there was a time when I felt so low and so out of it and so totally useless, and I was sitting with him, and he helped me out, and he consoled me, and he told me, listen, there are infinite amounts of universes in which we all exist. He says, and you should believe that there is a world in which you are clean and pure of any fault, like a driven snow. I started crying or whatever it is. It means you look at yourself. It says, no, what it means is you look at yourself, as chayav. He says, but you should know that there's a real, true way of looking at you. That if you had the seichel to see it, you'd realize that you're totally clean. It's a very deep saying, and it struck a chord. I just needed it at that time. It was like that's the reason why Avraham Avinu bought the Maos Machpelah Me'Ephron. Ephron, Pchinas Offer. Ephron, denotes the sense of sand, of Shu Pchinas V'Anochash Offer Lachma. That's the food of the snake. This is where the snake lives, and this is what he eats. Pchinas V'Offer Toichal, and you should eat sand. Shu Pchinas Asus V'Atzos V'Kvedas. This is sadness and depression and heaviness. Animshach Me'arash B'Sod HaOfer. Depression and sadness and heaviness comes, and lethargy, they come from the bad aspect of the fundamental element of offer. Because every fundamental element has a good and a bad in it. The good in the element of offer, of sand, is that it can grow, it's inert, it can grow things. If you plant on it, it's b'chinas emunah. You can plant on it, and it gives forth, all the growth. The tzaddik is the soda offer b'kedusha. That it has it has the gravity. The offer has the gravity that holds everything together. From all the four atomic forces, there's electromagnetism, there's what they call the strong atomic force, there's the weak atomic force, that force which goes beyond the molecular structure of a substance. It's called the strong one, there's the weak one, which maybe it's inside, or maybe it's the opposite, I'm not sure. And then the fourth atomic force is the gravity. Now, all the other forces are like in the power of, 3, 4, 5 more, stronger than the force of gravity. Gravity is the weakest of all the atomic forces, yet is the most significant force in the universe. Because from all the forces, it's the only one that's accumulative. In other words, the reason each particular atom has its the force that it gives out And this is the force that it does not combine with other forces of other atoms. It's just for that molecule alone, for that atom alone. But gravity, as you said, is powerful. Gravity, mass adds to mass. So, mainly the gravity is the lowest force, but given all the mass in the universe, it is the most significant force in the universe. This is the Solar Office, Bekdusha. But what it is, Betuma, it's the source of lethargy, laziness, apathy, listlessness, any other language that you can think of. They're like,
Just tired.
just tired, just, bushed. All right?
So, but can I just go back to what you were saying? Is it a Jewish concept, what you were saying about your friend, what he said to you? Is it a Jewish concept that there's an infinite amount of use?
No, whatever he said, what he meant to tell me is that forget about it. Forget about what the language that he used. I don't know what was in his mind. But the point is that what he actually means to say is not the infinite amount of universes. What he means is there's an infinite amount of perspectives to look at everything. And there is a true perspective to look at you that sees you as totally pure, that according to which you're totally pure. It didn't mean like in physics they have infinite amount of universes and one of them happens to be this one.
The multiverses.
Yeah, that's not what
But
it
that's
is.
what
This
it
is
says.
just, I understand, but this is basically what they're saying
How
is
do you know I was going there?
let's explain the world without God. Okay, this is one way of trying to explain it. Let's say that infinite amount of universes, because basically what they're saying is, how can you explain this universe? Everything is exactly right, because in order for life to be the way it is now, it's like you have to shoot a shot in the dark, with a gun that ricochets off windows and hits the spiral, the knob of a safe, and hits it in exactly the combination of the safe and opens the safe.
That's right.
I mean, it's just.
That's right.
It's just totally impossible.
But in 100 trillion times, it won't happen. But it has to happen once.
Okay, so what they're saying, so the theory they came up with is maybe there are infinite number of universes. They're like that.
No, that's not why they came up with it. They came up with it because they couldn't explain dark matter and the gravitational forces in a universe. So the only maths that work are that outside this universe that hold all of our stars and all of our galaxies in the right place is the concept of multiverse, which means there are an infinite amount of universes completely different from ours with probably no life, but somewhere, because they're infinite, there has to be another you. In fact, there could be even an infinite amount of yous.
Okay. As Rabbeinu says, as Rabbeinu said, and how many things you have to believe in order not to believe in Hashem.
But is it a belief? They're just describing.
No.
They're describing what we believe anyway.
No, it doesn't matter. Science rests on. I mean, it starts with
You're
Aristo.
going to have to cleanse me of this.
It's Aristo started the whole union of science. Science actually started with Aristo. Modern science started with Aristo. The whole idea is that you take God, a creator, out of the equation, because otherwise it's a fixed game. So what's the chachma? The whole trick is to explain it without the creator. Without a creator. Yeah. You have to understand something.
No, but the more they try and explain it, the more to a creator they're getting.
Okay, but the point is that you have to understand, truth by them means nothing. It means absolutely nothing. They have archaeology. Okay, so you think, what is archaeology? Archaeology is the science of truth, right? To find out what there was. And you see them until 1992, the archaeologists basically said there was no such thing as King David. It's all a myth. It's mythology, it's Jewish mythology, the same as the Greek mythology, Jewish mythology never existed. 1992, they discovered ruins from, a time a little bit after. It says, before Beis David. Okay, so there was a David, but it was just a little chieftain, that had a little whatever. So now they discovered, not far from here, at the town of Shaaraim, which is a whole city, with two gates. This is Shaaraim, that is right before the Plishtim, right before the a total city. It's no longer, but there are those who still that cling to the theories from before. So what do you do with all the theories? Until now, you wrote books and you told everybody with fantastic self-confidence that David HaMelech never existed. If truth meant anything to them, what would they do when they find the thing about the Beis David? Just close the book and say the whole thing is nonsense, because the only thing that we can tell is what we have in front of it. It doesn't mean that this is what it was. We're seeing a partial picture. So the picture that we see is just whatever it is we see. Just the fact we haven't seen it doesn't mean it's a... But the whole idea was, what they call Cheker Mikra, the science of the scriptures, started 19th century by the Germans with an explicit aim to disprove the veracity of the Tanakh, of the Bible. But that's it. That's the only word that existed. Archaeology exists, again, the same thing. So but they keep on finding these things, and the thing they stick that because the truth doesn't mean anything. The main thing is the name of the game. We're archaeologists. We're like with a pipe and with a loop, and we can tell, and we go and we check it.
Right.
And
but there's an idea that the scientists are going to come up to the top of the mountain and see all the philosophers there, right?
Yeah, so
they're climbing the same mountain.
the theologians.
Theologians, right? So they're
But the thing is that truth does not mean anything to them.
yet.
So
Yet.
it does not mean a thing. So, but you have in their lives, the truth doesn't mean anything. Truth is really a moving target as far as they're concerned. Today we decide the truth is going to be this. So everybody who does not ascribe to this is a Yamach Shemoinik and should be tarred and feathered and chased out of town. And then in 50 years or 20 years or 10 years, suddenly, this moving target moves to somebody else. And now marrying elephants is the prime thing to do, and anybody who's against marrying elephants is a bigot and elephantophobic and anything. And if you are against it, it's because you are the devil incarnate. Okay? And then 10 years later, this is marrying elephants is out. Now marrying chickens is in. So anybody that is chickenophobic and the other ones is elephantophiliac, whatever. and the whole thing just keeps on. The moral compass is magnetized to a totally random moving target.
No, but all I'm saying is like...
So we made it.
But because you've learned Likutei Halachos and you've learned Torah, actually the lens on your glasses is like a completely Torah one. So when you look at their findings, you go, whoa, Hashem is everywhere in their maths, in their thing.
That's
When
right.
they look at it, because they had the wrong intention. So what's the problem with me using my lens to see God in what they're doing? That's what I'm saying.
There's no problem. Except that intrinsic in what this is what he says that the afar has the bite of the snake. Now when it says the mechakrim are the chayasros, these are the prey animals. There's venom in their bite.
Right.
And the thing is that because the point is they're smarter than you.
Because it's not Kedusha.
They're smarter than you.
Right.
And they're smarter than me too. We go in there, they're going to swallow something up like that. Hawking is smarter than you and me. he can run circles around. Maybe he can run circles around him, but he can. He can drive the chair around.
PC police.
Because the atzvus comes from the bad in the yesod, in the element of sand. That's the main bite of the snake. כמו שכתב רבינו, זה הפוסק, והנחש עופר לחמי. As Rabbeinu says, Kuf Peites, the food of the snake is sand, and sham. And the defeat of that element of snake, and they saw the offer shebekdusha, through the element of offer in the kedusha, shu b'chinas emunah, is the element of emunah, shu b'chinas shchon eretz u emunas, reside in the land and pasture emunah. B'chinas offer mana dekolum, that means that the sand is actually the keli for everything. The sand is the thing that enables everything. Shadei emunah, that through the emunah, b'chinas offer the kedusha, Emunah is the sand shebekdusha. V'kavam shichin kol hachas v'kol hakedushas. For this you bring about all the chiyus and all the kedusha. V'zorchem chas koach hagodel v'koach tzomeach. And in fact, instead of lethargy and depression and apathy, dafka, the offer gives you the power to grow, the power to restart again, the power to surge ahead. There's no way to grow anything without offer. Offer is the thing that you need to, unless of course you're growing hydroponic, silly weeds, All right, listen, this is for modern people. Yeah. 21st century. What do you know?
You could have said enormous cucumbers or something.
Right. Enormous cucumbers. I meant that. What did you think I meant? What do you think I meant? Can't help you, dirty mind. The growing force and the ligdol v'litzmoch b'vedloso, to grow and to climb up in avodas Hashem. And to jump over all the obstacles and all the holdbacks. Not to look at anything. The emunah is the growing force. That's the one of the things that makes you grow in avodas Hashem. That's the patience. That's the patience that we're talking about, which is the aspect of the film.